Let me.
And then Chef Roberson, she will transfer it over to you after she goes through the housekeeping.
Okay, so I'll have
Welcome,
to
ladies.
pull
We
up the
appreciate you.
the uh thing. Okay, cool.
All right. Can everyone see my screen? Student engagement expectations. Are we good? Can you see it? Am I sharing? Am I sharing?
Yes, you're sharing.
All right, good job. All right, so welcome everyone to our first class of this wonderful boot camp. Um, Welcome back for those who I met yesterday during our orientation. I just want to, you'll hear me say this before each and every class, is just a reminder of some of our expectations that we have for all of our scholars as we go forward with all of our sessions over the next several weeks. You guys are here, so we can already check off attendance. We ask that all of our scholars please have your cameras on. If we haven't previously spoken about you not being able to turn your cameras on, we ask that all of our scholars please have your cameras on. And of course, be ready to interact, engage, make yourself truly a part of this session today. And of course, give yourself the opportunity for growth, right? These are the four things. I know yesterday I went over a few more, but these are the four main things that we expect from our scholars. So if we're all on the same page about that, I will definitely turn it over to Chef Robeson, who is your instructor for this evening. Sit back and enjoy. I will be in the chat if you have any questions. Chef Robeson, I pass it over to you as I stop sharing. You are on mute still. There we go.
I think someone kept muting me. I think his name was Dr. Dre. I'm not sure.
Oh no, Chef.
So he knows I talk a lot. Chef talk a lot. So good evening, everyone. I am Chef Roberson. Nice to meet you all. I believe I heard there was Hannah and Nana. So please forgive me if I don't say your name correct first time. Tonight we're going to talk about hospitality and service. I did change up my presentation a little bit from the last 2 years because I wanted it to be more indicative of what's going on in today's time post pandemic and some of the information that we had. So it's going to be short and sweet. I'll kind of give you an outlay of what we're going to do. We're going to um, talk about hospitality, talk about service, talk about ourselves. Um, we'll talk about our why we would like to do this. We'll talk about the objectives of the class. You'll watch a video. I believe there is homework, so I'm going to give you a homework assignment, which involves another video. We'll have a breakout session that you all can discuss. I have 2 questions for you to discuss. Then we'll move forward. So I kind of have it all scripted for us to be able to share and have fun. So um, yeah. So let me see if I can pull up my PowerPoint, my Google slideshow, and it is not there yet. Okay, I want to share sound. I want to do that, and I'm looking for it. So let me see here. I so apologize. Um, I haven't used Zoom. I'm used to Teams. Drake, could you walk me through? I'm trying to pick up my PowerPoint. Don't want to leave.
Huh. So what you want to do is for Zoom, you should see that green arrow at the very bottom that says share.
Right? I hit share
Right.
sound. I'm actually looking for my video. I mean my PowerPoint, but I can't seem to.
And then there you go.
You see my screen? Oh, you got it. All right.
Yes, I
There,
do see your screen. Now you have to click on, there you go.
you got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So welcome to hospitality and service. If I get all the students to, in just a moment, I'm gonna have you introduce yourself. But I am, again, Chef David Roberson. I am the lead instructor, department chair at Ben Barber Innovation Academy. We're located in Fort Worth, Texas, which we call Mansfield, Texas. And one of the things that I love to share about is this thing called hospitality, because hospitality has a lot to do with how we make people feel, and that's where a lot of joy for me in working in the industry comes from. and that is the symbol. I not only love eating pineapples, but the symbol for the hospitality industry is a pineapple, and there's a tradition behind it. And but this tradition of a pineapple short has been internationally recognized as a symbol of hospitality and a sign of friendliness, warmth, cheer, graciousness, and conviviality. Meaning that in the days of old, kings and princes would share pineapples with people as a symbol of their hospitality towards them because pineapples were really hard to find. You'd have to find them in a tropical location. And so, a little bit about me. This will be my 13th year coming up in the classroom, which is wow, man. I never spent 13 years at a restaurant. I've, 7, 8 years and you kind of move on. But I've 13 years, 17th year in education, 41 years in the food service industry. So I've been doing this since I was 15. I know I don't look as old as I am. That's a testament to God. But, you know, this is my 13th year coaching ProStart Culinary and Restaurant Management. We've coached students to win scholarships to pay for college over the last 13 years. Most recently, this year, our students walked away with over $25,000 in scholarships. Last year, we had a student walk away with a presidential scholarship worth $250,000. Uh, but that was just years of hard work in the classroom, after school, weekends. My hobbies. I enjoy creating flavors. Um, I fancy myself as taking people to Flavor Town, right? I like reading. I like reading all types of books, but specifically, I love reading cookbooks because that's where I learn to mix things up a little bit in the kitchen. Watch a lot of television. I love Instagram, like looking at all the chefs, all the restaurants, just gaining inspiration, take it back to the classroom. I pass a lot on to my students. I watch a lot of cooking shows in my spare time. Just for me, it's all about education and learning. Few of my favorite things to do here in Texas is hang out with my friends. This I got a picture of just people gathering. I love eating barbecue. I love making barbecue. So I have a picture of that. And I love creating, nice Michelin star dishes with my students and just seeing the light bulb go off when they realize they can cook something as nice as the dish that you see there. So I'm going to turn it over to our students real quick. Looking at the clock here, if we could get everyone to take about 2 minutes and introduce themselves, just give me your name, give me your grade, give me a hobby and dream occupation. I would greatly appreciate that.
I can go first.
All right, cool. Who's this?
Naina.
Nina. Okay.
I'm Naina Patel. I'm going to be a junior this year. My hobbies, I like to run in my free time. I run cross country and track, and I like to like bake sometimes and just like listen to music in general.
Okay,
My
cool.
dream occupation, I want to go into finance or the fashion like become a fashion designer.
Oh, cool. Chef Dre and I do an event here in Texas called Food and Fashion, and we get to work with a at a fashion show, and we get to take students to create dishes that are themed on the fashion show, which is really cool. We've done that for 3 years now, Chef Dre. So that's cool. Thank you, Nina. Appreciate it.
My
Who's
name is
next?
Hannah Alexander. My hobbies is volleyball, track and fields, and my dream occupation is veterinary.
Okay. All right.
My name is Abelia Ezekiel. I will be a senior come this September. Two of my favorite hobbies would be cooking and writing slash reading, I guess. And then my dream occupation would be the President of the United States, so a politician in my future.
Ooh, I see it. Come on. All right, President. I like it. I like it. So what do
You
you
like
like to
spending a
cook?
lot of time with Rosie, aren't you?
Yes, that'd be ideal. That'd be great.
All right, back to you, Chef.
I know you're good. What do you like to cook? Can you say your name for me one more time, please?
Abele,
Ebele?
Abele, perfect.
Ebele. All right, thank you. And
And
you like
then
to cook. What do you like to cook in your free time?
my favorite cuisine would be Asian food, but
Oh,
tonight for dinner specifically, I'm making ossobuco. So that's what's on the menu site. But I don't have like any specific favorite.
okay. Asabuco. Chef, we got a real one here.
Hey, man,
Asabuco. I love Asabuco.
agreed. Just
Yeah.
when you said they didn't want to talk about food and hear us talk about food, she bring in some good old
Asabuco.
Acapulco.
Oh, she got a good braise going on over there somewhere. So I can smell it, right? All right, cool. Well, thank you very much. And who's next? Is that it? I can't see who all we have with us today. Let me pull it up. That'll
Hello.
stop
Yeah.
screen sharing.
Yeah,
Put it back.
hello.
Hello.
Oh, I was gonna ask if I can go now.
Yes. What's your name?
My name is Liv, and my dream occupation, I think, I genuinely have a lot of goals for myself. So
Okay.
I wanted to make a business called Dulce's Treatment. It's basically kind of like a convenient beauty store, and it's also an
Mhm.
indoor spa. So it's like it's really good for skincare because like as a teen who struggles with acne, it's like I just like having and using a lot of like natural products because I don't want to like include a lot of chemicals in my skincare that can cause
Okay.
like a lot of breakouts and stuff like that. So I want to like kind of focus on skincare and cosmetology, and I also I got accepted into med school for, and I'm gonna be a medical administration. So I'll
Okay.
also be in the medical field when I'm older as well, and then maybe later on in my life I'm gonna go to law school to be a lawyer.
Wow. It's a lot of schooling. I did a lot of schooling in seminary, so I definitely understand reading, studying. So those are lofty aspirations, and yeah, that's good. So it's good to have nice big goals. Every year we start with goals in our program, and think for young people to have goals is very, very, very important because it keeps you grounded, keeps you focused. So having more than one plan is awesome. So thank you for sharing. Is Lynn correct?
Live, Liv.
Liv, live. All right, cool. Is there anyone else?
That is the group.
That is the group. All right, cool. Well, looks like we have an all-star cast lined up, and I'm excited. The one thing that I can say, listening to you all for what you want to do with your future, is very important for you to understand the difference between hospitality and service. Because one thing that I learned in my career of doing this, working from the back of the house all the way to the front of the house in restaurants, in hotels, in teaching. Even as a teacher, I serve as a servant to people, and I have to have a classroom that is conducive to people coming in and feeling safe, feeling warm, feeling invited, getting a lot of joy out of being in the class so that they can grow and they can go and do amazing things with their life. And so I learned all of that in a restaurant, in hospitality, in the food service industry. And so I tell people all the time, the one thing that you can learn in the food service industry or just listening to hospitality is how to be a people person and how to be a great servant leader. And so I think one of the reasons why we've been so successful is because of those attributes that I've taken from my years of restaurant service and put it into play into what I'm doing, and then my heritage and my background just blends into all of that. And so my next slide, it talks about my why. So what it comes down to, in whatever field that you ladies choose to get into, you have to have a strong enough why because no matter what we do, if we're being a veterinarian, if we're going into finance, if we're running cross country, we have to have something that's going to get us through the days that are dogged, the days that beat us down, the days that don't give us joy in what we're doing, because some days that happens. Because that's life, right? We're not always going to be in love with what we do, but it should always give us something other than finances so that we're happy doing it. Because I share with Dre all the time. Um, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't get paid to teach. Um, I would do it because I just love doing it for the kids, and that's my why. It brings me joy to go and do things with my students. And like this weekend, winning $10,000 to see those 4 or 5 kids' faces at the end, it was amazing. I mean, because you can't put a price tag on that right there. Um, but in the hospitality industry, my why came down to just experiencing joy when I see other people joyful, right? When they're eating a dish, whether if I did some type of act of service for them or something like that, and I saw the joy in their eyes, it just fueled my passion even more to keep going. And so I'm going to ask you all for your why, but I'm saving it to after the end of the presentation because I want you to kind of get an idea of what hospitality and service is and how they're married together, how you can have one without the other, but one makes the other better. So you have to have them both together. So even as you endeavor to go into any walk of life, this is a very important presentation for you, and there's something you can take away from it. And so, as I move to the next slide, the objective tonight is to gain knowledge and skills that will help you create a successful career. And I put here in the hospitality industry, but if it's not there, it could be anywhere. So keep that in mind, because I think I heard Hannah say she would like to be a veterinarian. So one day Hannah may open up her own veterinarian practice, and there's going to be hospitality involved and there's going to be service involved. And so what we want to learn tonight is what is hospitality, what is service, and is there a distinct difference between hospitality and service? So I'll ask you before I reveal it what you ladies think. Is there a difference between hospitality and service, or do you believe they're one and the same? Who would like to answer that question? You all don't have to answer at once.
I think service is more like helping people, and then hospitality is like, I guess, like overall thing.
Okay. All right. So I believe yesterday was this uh Nina?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday, I believe when we met you, you said you've traveled abroad and you've been to different places, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go to different countries or hotels and things like that, um, do you see hospitality in service, or do you think all of that is combined to one idea?
I think it's combined to one idea.
Good answer. All right. So I'm going to show you all the difference between the two, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. And then I actually have 3 more points here. So what is hospitality? What is service? And then the difference between the two. And I would like for 3 people to read those for me when I pull them up. Is that cool? Can I get someone to do that for me, please? So there it is. So remember the first question is, what is hospitality? And so who would like to read the first one if you can see it? What hospitality actually is.
I can do it.
Thank you.
Hospitality refers to the services that people use when they are away from home, such as hotels and restaurants, as well as the feeling that guests take away from their experiences with an operation based on their care, attention, and physical environment.
All right, cool. So thank you very much. Who was that reading?
Abele,
All right, thank you very much. And who would like to take the second one?
I can read it.
Okay.
Service is when you provide assistance and support to your customers or guests. It happens before, during, and after they make a purchase or transaction with your company. Great service leads to all around guest satisfaction. In return, leads to residual business and income, repetitive consumer base money.
Which equals, if you're going to go into business, if you're an entrepreneur and you have a mindset of being an entrepreneur, it equals dollar signs, right? Because I don't think anyone ever went into a business just for the love of it. I think some of us go into business because we want to support our home, but any business wants to make some type of money so they can keep the business afloat. So we do need hospitality, we do need service, but here's the difference between the two. Can I get one person to read the last one?
Hospitality is how you make people feel. It's the warm welcome, the smile, and the personal touch that turns a visit into a great experience. Service is what you do, like taking an order or checking someone into a hotel. You can have a good service without hospitality, but true hospitality always includes great.
Yes, definitely. So how many of you believe that's actually true? True hospitality always includes great service. Is that the chat? I guess. I'm not sure. All right, cool. I'm seeing the
Yes.
chat. I didn't see it at first, so that's great. You all put it in the chat. So I believe that's true from my years of being in the food service industry, that you can be hospitable and have bad service, or you can have bad service and not be very hospitable. And so it actually takes both of those for us to exist as a restaurant or any type of business. And so what I want you all to take away from that is, where is a place that you've been or you like to frequent, where you actually spend money, right? And you get both of these at the same time, and it keeps driving you back to that place. Would anybody like to volunteer to share one of their favorite stores? It could be a nail shop. It could be, you know, just any type of place that you visit. For me, I'm going to show mine in a video coming up next, because like my one of my favorite restaurants. And they're going to talk about hospitality and service. But would anybody like to share before we go there? Who I have? I have, is it Liv? Liv, could you share a place for me, please?
I don't really have a specific like favorite store. I don't really like. Mm, yeah, to be honest, I really don't know. I don't really
Can
go
I
to.
ask you a question? Have you
Mm,
ever been to a place and you got bad service or bad hospitality?
no,
No? Okay. How about Hannah?
I don't really have a specific place, but I remember this one time for my birthday, we went to this crab place and it wasn't really I would say up to health regulations, to
Okay.
put it nicely. So that's
Interesting.
like an experience of a bad service.
Oh, yes, definitely. I agree. Okay. How did that make you feel?
I was honestly disgusted because not only did it smell like seafood, but like it wasn't cooked properly. And it was for my birthday, so it kind of just like disappointed me in a way.
Right. And so that is one of the reasons why I really wanted to talk about this. I like talking about this subject because in our classes, when we teach students about the service industry, and when I say service industry, I always try to emphasize that service happens everywhere we go. It could be at the gas station or where we get our cars fixed. It could be at the hospital if we're sick. It could be um, at the mall in the store. It could be at the five and down the street. It does not necessarily mean that we're going to a restaurant. Um, but there's a feeling associated with how people treat us when we're doing transactions. And Normally, if there's a bad environment or there is an attitude displayed or any type of thing like that, then it makes our experience the worse off for it. It makes us not want to go back. So, for an example, there's a place here in my hometown where I go to get my oil changed, and it is probably the best place I've ever been in my life to go get my oil changed. They're friendly, they're fast, they're reasonable. They get me in and out. I mean, when I'm in, if it's a long line, there's at least three people that come and they'll check on me, just to make sure I'm okay. I know the manager knows my name. When my wife comes up, I mean, he gives us coupons to come back. I mean, it's just an overall good feeling. Now, there's a place that I went to in town once where it was a horrible experience and I never went back. And when I drive past the two businesses, I see a vast difference in how many customers they have, right? And I totally understand why, because one of them has not just bad service, but they don't have very good hospitality at all. And one has both. One has it where when you go in, you feel really special about taking your car there. So, does that example make any sense to you, ladies? I hope so. I know there's a delayed response with us all having our mute, but and those are kind of things that we're talking about here when we talk about having hospitality in the industry of any type of industry and in the food service industry. But I want to take you to my favorite restaurant and I want to show you all a video. And I want you to pay attention to the video because after this, I would like for the chef to break you out in a quick session. And this video is about 6 minutes long. So you really have to pay attention because I'm going to ask you to discuss two questions and come back and share out about the two questions. Does everybody understand? Chef, can you let me
Put a
know if
one, put a one in the chat if you understand
thank you, Chef.
the directions. I
You,
got you, Chef.
Chef, Chef, I'm in person teaching, man. I try. I can't see the chat either. Maybe if I go to split screen, maybe
All right, we got two ones in the chat. We got three ones
one's
in
in
the
chat, two
chat.
ones in chat. Did I get out of share? Oh my goodness.
No, you're still sharing, Chef. You're good.
Oh man, I'm getting nervous over here, Chef. I'm getting nervous.
All right, so I got 4 out of 5 that gave me a one.
All right, cool.
Sorry, 3.
All
Hannah, you
right.
still with us?
So it is
I don't know. I think, oh, there she is.
okay. So it's Chef is 6:03. I think we got started 5:35. So I'm clocking my time here. Yep, I'm about
Beautiful. You're
six
good on
minutes
time?
behind. Yeah, I'm about 6 minutes behind. But I didn't account for the 5:35. So we're good here. But after this, I'd like for you to put them in a group where they, since it's just four, they can discuss two questions. The two questions on the next slide. They're right here. So
No
um,
problem.
so next, I'm going to play the video. It is a little older, but I vetted it, and there are a lot of videos from this company, and they all speak about the same thing. Um, and one of the things that I want you ladies to think about if you've ever been to this restaurant is what you see now versus what they put in the video. Because I, I work with high school students, and this is probably our number one place to go eat. Would you say, Chef? Like when we're out with the kids, this is
It facts.
yeah, that this is the only place.
There's one of them that's a close second, but this is probably the most
This
popular.
is this is the most popular choice. It doesn't matter if we're in Washington D.C., if we're in Baltimore, if we're in Houston, Texas, if we're in San Antonio, Texas. They all want to go to this place for some reason, right? And so let's check it out. Let's see. All right, can you hear it, Chef?
So how would you define hospitality?
Yes, sir.
It can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Hospitality at Chick-fil-A is about ensuring your guests feel cared for. When someone makes eye contact, offers a warm smile, a genuine greeting, and goes above and beyond to care for you, That's hospitality. For all of us at Chick-fil-A, hospitality is a part of who we are. It's woven into the history of our family business. Hospitality started with my granddad. He learned hospitality as a kid, serving guests in his home, and then later serving every single guest that walked through the front door of his restaurant. When Granddad said "my pleasure," he didn't just say it, he meant it. Uncle Dan took it one step further by looking at the biblical principle of going the second mile, based on Matthew 5:41, where it talks about when someone is forced to go 1 mile, go with them the second mile. We have an incredible opportunity each day to genuinely care for our guests. Go that second mile and make a difference. Our hospitality sets us apart. So what does this look like in a Chick-fil-A restaurant? Well, there's really two pieces that make up hospitality at Chick-fil-A: recipe for service and second mile service. Let's first break down our recipe for service. Just like we have a tried and true recipe for our craveable Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, we have a tried and true recipe for our service. The recipe has two parts, the core 4 plus the 3 required second mile service behaviors. The first part of the recipe, the core 4, consists of creating eye contact, sharing a smile, speaking enthusiastically, and staying connected to make it personal. Then there's the second part, the 3 required second mile service behaviors: delivering meals for high needs guests, performing table touch-ins, and carrying large orders to cars. These 7 ingredients make up our recipe for service. They are required, and this is what guests tell us they love most about service at Chick-fil-A.
Anything else for you, Mr. Brock?
So that's our recipe for service. But the second piece of hospitality at Chick-fil-A is our second mile service. This is where we go above and beyond, putting your personal touch of hospitality in your restaurant. It's about being genuine, proactive, and personal with your guests. Being genuine. Actively listening to our guests, which includes body language. It's about leaning in, making eye contact, and giving them our full attention. Being proactive, anticipating our guests' needs. For example, holding the door for a guest. And finally, making it personal. This is an opportunity to connect with our guests. Maybe it's simply remembering a guest's favorite meal.
Chick-fil-A biscuit and a medium coffee. Any cream or sugar for you today?
Overall, we're empowering our team members to obey their warm-hearted impulses, to treat others the way that they would want to be treated. Let me share with you a couple of comments from guests who were impacted by team members following those impulses. First guest says she was completely blown away by the incredible service she received at Chick-fil-A. The staff were so incredibly friendly. One of them even rushed to escort her with an umbrella to the car in the rain. Another guest, who is a single mother, raved about how Chick-fil-A treats her. The staff always goes above and beyond to offer extra help. She explains this has brought tears to her eyes when she was having a rough day. You see, this is the beauty of hospitality at Chick-fil-A. It combines the recipe for service with your unique second mile service ideas and passion. You have the ability to offer signature services that best serve your guests. So why do we do all this? Because we care for each guest personally. Let's see what this looks like in our restaurants.
Sir, I can help you right down here. Good, how are you? Is this for dine-in or carry-out?
As guests enter the restaurant,
Hi, how are you doing, Adam?
they're greeted with a warm welcome. At the order point, in the dining room, or in the drive-thru, the team member is providing genuine core 4.
Hi, welcome to Chick-fil-A, sir. How may I serve you today?
The cashier provides clear direction to the guests after completing their order. For a large carry-out order, the team member says, "I'll be assisting you to your car." During the guest dining experience, table touch-ins are occurring about every 10 to 15 minutes.
I'll check your tray when you're finished, okay? All right, thanks for coming in today.
You can see the host or hostess is constantly assessing the needs of the guest, always looking to provide extra condiments and napkins, refreshing beverages, and clearing trays, while taking advantage of those moments to connect with the guest. All of these components make up our recipe for service. Some second mile service touches we saw were offering fresh ground pepper, remembering a guest's name,
Mr. Bill, I can help you right here.
genuinely listening to our guests, providing a high chair, and offering a fond farewell in the drive-thru.
Your biscuit. You have a wonderful day.
The concept and heart behind hospitality is simple, but executing it consistently can be very difficult. You have to have service process in place to be consistent. You need the right people in the right places, saying and doing the right things. For example, 4 key team member roles have emerged in executing effective service process in the dining room. These roles may look unique in every restaurant, but here's an overall description of each. First, your host or hostess. They're uniquely set up to focus on the required second mile service behaviors and go above and beyond for your guests, all while exhibiting the core 4. Second, your cashiers.
Good, good.
They are the champions of the core 4.
Good, how are you?
They are key to the service process by always giving clear direction. They can truly make a guest experience by providing microbursts of hospitality. Third, your expediter. They are all about order accuracy, making sure that the meals are properly assembled with appropriate utensils and condiments. Fourth, and finally for our dining room, your servers. They make sure meals are delivered to the right guests while ensuring they have everything they need before starting the meal. Don't forget it's powerful when we use a guest's name.
Well, here's your fresh salad, Lauren.
Thank you.
All right, well, let me get some napkins for you, all right, dear?
The guest name is taken by the cashier and used by the server when delivering the meal. When you have clearly defined processes and roles in place, you can be sure that the recipe for service and second mile service are happening all day, every day. And remember, hospitality is about ensuring guests feel cared for. One of the things that excites me the most is your extraordinary opportunity to show honor, dignity, and respect to our guests, and to have a positive influence on all who come in contact with Chick-fil-A.
So that is one brand of restaurants, and there are several other brands out there that do hospitality and service really, really well. But the big takeaway for me was having process and plans in place for hospitality. For instance, as a teacher, one of the things that I do often is when the bell rings in my class, I open the door and I always stand outside and greet my students. One of the reasons why is because I want to say hello to them. And the second reason why is I want them to know that I'm present as their teacher, right? And just to give them a warm invitation in the class when they come into class and to engage them from the moment they walk in. And I try to engage with them until the moment they walk out of the classroom. And that breeds success. And that's one of the things that I learned as a restaurant manager. Um, I take that same thing to church with me when I'm greeting people. I take the same thing if I'm doing some outside activity. I take that same demeanor and attitude. So hospitality and service has to be a part of who we are. It is an innate ability to always want to see people taken care of. And so I really like this video because as old as it is, if you walk into a Chick-fil-A today, you'll still see these things with some added touches since the pandemic. And one of the things that really blows me away about this company is when I drive around from city to city, no matter where I go, I see a line of cars wrapped around a Chick-fil-A. And you ask yourself, what are they doing so great? Because honestly, there's good chicken everywhere. I mean, there are plenty of people that do chicken right. So they have to be doing something amazing to make people want to come back. And it's not always about the food. It has to be about the people in the building, and it has to be how people are treating other people. So what I would like for you to take away is those things that you heard about making eye contact and just doing the little extra things that will make people excited to be a part of your environment when you have that environment. Because I believe from listening to you, you will all be leaders somewhere, someday soon. If you were president of the United States, you would have to have a friendly, inviting environment to solve the world's crises. Nobody wants to walk into a hostile room and try to solve a hostile situation. So they need to be in somewhere they feel safe. So we're gonna break out for a few minutes. We'll say five. I think that's enough because there's two questions, and there are two questions on the screen. How does Chick-fil-A's emphasis on personalized service, such as using phrases like "my pleasure," enhance the customer experience? And what can we learn from this approach? And I put here, I encourage you to use your own words. And then here, just to help you along the way, this encourages you to reflect on the impact throughout the language and genuine interactions in customer service, right? And then the second question, what specific behaviors or practices did you observe that demonstrate Chick-fil-A's commitment to hospitality? and how might these be applied in other service settings, right? So now you have to think about, what can we do outside of here? Let's take it bigger than just a restaurant, because there are other environments. Um, I've used two examples. I've used the hospitality industry and I've used the classroom, right? Because I tell new teachers all the time as I'm mentoring them that our classrooms are settings for us to create an environment of service and hospitality to students. If you want student success, students have to feel invited. They have to trust you, and you all know that as teenagers. Like if you don't trust me, you're not you're not gonna do whatever it is I ask you to do. You have to trust that I'm putting you in position to be successful, and you have to believe, right? So we have to do that. So I want you to find your own examples and then come back and share with me, and then we'll take a break.
Excellent.
Cool. Cool. Sound good,
Cool.
Chef? Sound good,
Sounds
ladies?
great.
All right.
Sounds great to me. So
Okay.
I've
So,
assigned everybody their breakout rooms, and
okay.
I'm going to send it out now. Timer begins now.
All right. Cool. Thank you, Chef.
You're
Do I
most
have a
welcome.
breakout room? No?
I do not have you assigned.
That's okay. I'm gonna grab some hot tea.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been hitting this green tea up today, man. My wife said I gotta leave that coffee alone, man. Very quickly, ladies, before we go take a break, because we'll give you a 10-minute break and we'll come back and we'll finish after that. If you could just enlighten Chef Blossom Game and I and the rest of the board with what your takeaway from the video was. What did you see? What did you hear based on the two questions? And if you saw something else that you thought was important, awesome. I want you to use your own vernacular and just explain it the way that you saw it. And if you have one speaker, that'd be great. You all don't have to speak. I think that was said that you all pick one person to speak.
So Chastity and
Was it Bele?
C, since y'all were in the class with the in the breakout room, who would you think would be the person to be the spokesperson for the group?
I don't know. I can speak if you'd like. I don't know.
Who's this?
Yeah, you were already picked for that anyway. We kind of figured. Just wanted to let you know. I wanted to at least not volunteer people, give them an option to choose, but
Yeah.
yeah, you were the unspoken pick person for your room. Just FYI.
Sounds
Go
good.
right ahead.
So to answer the first question, which I'm going to reread really quickly. Oh yes. So for like Chick-fil-A using phrases such as my pleasure, it kind of makes, again, like I was saying in the breakout room, the experience a little bit more personable. So first off, it almost makes people feel a little bit more comfortable, as though their presence in the restaurant is welcome and almost appreciated. So I think that not only is it nice that like you're going to a restaurant seeking this service and obviously you're getting something from it, but it's always nice to know kind of that in that space and in that environment you're welcome. And then the specific behaviors and practices we recognized as Chick-fil-A's commitment to hospitality were things like memorizing guest names. I think that that was really nice to, again, like make them feel important. I also think their dedication to providing like the best service possible was exemplified through walking customers like stuff to their car or constantly making sure their needs are met without being asked to. So an example I gave in the breakout room was like if I'm at a restaurant and I need like my ketchup refilled or my ketchup bottle refilled or I need new napkins, rather than Chick-fil-A servers having to wait to be almost like told or asked, they make sure to take initiative. And I think we all recognize that to be really, really important. So yeah.
Those are awesome answers. Thank you very much, Vele. I believe if that happened more across the world and different environments, not just in the Chick-fil-A. Um, there are certain stores in my town that, I just don't go in anymore because of, people, that work there. They can be rude, they can be unruly, um, and you just don't feel like the hassle. You know what I mean? You just don't want to be hassled with that kind of environment because you've worked hard to gain money to go buy things. So you would rather spend it in places where people are friendly, people make you feel wanted, people make you feel heard, they make you feel comfortable to come in. So that's one reason why I like Chick-fil-A. Um, it's rather expensive. I know in the video they said their price point was about $9, but as a restaurant management teacher, culinary arts, right now, if I look at price per average, they're pretty close to fine dining, depending on what you order, and you could get upwards to $25 per person, depending on what you order, which is the cost of an appetizer in some pricier restaurants nowadays. So again, thank you for your answer. Very, very good answer. Very impressive. You all are. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll come back. We have about 15 minutes worth of lecturing, reading, and then
Jeff, before we go to the break, we had two separate breakout rooms. So we
okay.
need to I believe it was Hannah in the
I'm
other
sorry.
breakout room
I thought it was
and
one.
let her respond.
My apologies, Chef.
No, you're good. That's why I got you back.
All right, Hannah.
I believe it was the second question that was talking about how the hospitality represented in Chick-fil-A can be applied to different services. And I'm saying,
Yes.
and I mentioned how like showing a friendly face and saying my pleasure and basically being nice to people makes them feel wanted and like their presence is appreciated in a certain like business sense. And how I said like that can be applied to different services is if like more people were to do that, they'd like people would want to spend their money there more
Right.
and they feel more wanted and
I think so. I think a lot of businesses suffer because of this whole idea of offering great hospitality and service where they're married together. I think most businesses kind of think that because they offer a service, that they can get away with just that, right? Well, we sell pies, so either you're gonna buy my pie or you're not gonna buy my pie. Um, but you'll see that those businesses, they don't normally last longer. When you look at a business like Lexus or Sewell or some of these brand name car companies, they're very successful, and it's all based on their hospitality and service when they're getting someone to buy $100,000, $200,000 car, right? These people know that it can be taken care of, so they go back, right? And so I think a lot of people in these that own businesses, they need to go out and make sure that they're looking at hospitality and service. So no matter what you ladies go into, one of the things that you need to take into it is that, hey, we have to be hospitable. We have to be in love with making people happy, because that is the bottom line. If you're in it to make money and be successful, one of the things you have to do is make people happy. They have to come back, and they'll come back if you're hospitable and you have great service. And those two are married together, and they feel good about what you're doing. So even when you make mistakes, they'll come back because they know you care enough to own it. So. All right, Dr. Dre, it is 6:30 now, and we'll take a very quick break. 10
Yep, we'll
minutes.
take a
Thank you,
we'll
ladies,
take
for
a
your
break.
answers. I appreciate it. Class participation. There's been a lot of it tonight. Good job.
We'll see you ladies back in 10 minutes.
So, good. All right, welcome back, everyone, to hospitality and service class. Are you still there? You with me?
Oh, I'm loving this class. You see how quickly these cameras came back on? Let's
It came back
go.
on. I can't see the cameras, but I will take your
Oh,
word.
you'll. I have to show you how to change the view on your screen, because on my
Oh,
screen you see them all the way all across the top, but you're looking at your full screen. So
right. All right, ladies, here we go. We're going to end this. And one of the things I wanted to do this evening was to kind of show the hospitality industry regionally and globally, especially post pandemic. So I wanted it to be more real time, not what it looked like 9 years ago. And the reason why is because being connected with our Texas Restaurant Association Education Foundation, one thing that we talk to our students quite a lot about is industry trends and jobs that are in the industry. Because believe it or not, as a high school teacher, I don't I don't always talk to students about becoming chefs. I talk to students about becoming a food photographer or a food scientist or some type of engineering in food where they work with packaging and different aspects of the food service industry. Because when we look at scholarships across the board, there are a lot of hospitality related scholarships for different jobs in the industry and not just for cooking. Um, and what made me interested in that was spending 2 summers in Europe. I spent 2 summers in Germany and Austria, um, chaperoning a group of 24 students. And one of the things that I learned while hanging out at a high school in Austria is that one of the things that they do in these countries is they start testing kids at an early age and they start deciding for them based on their test scores what occupation they're going into. So they don't have a lot of say sometimes in their occupation. And one of the major occupations in European countries is hospitality and tourism. It just is. And one of the reasons is because in these countries, unlike the United States, they travel a lot more than we do. Um, in Germany alone, in Austria alone, in Italy alone, they are mandated to take 6 weeks of vacation every year. They have to take it. And so what they do is they do a lot of traveling because they have to take this vacation. The government makes them take a vacation because it's more of a socialist environment. Um, if a woman is pregnant and she's going to go on maternity leave, she gets 1 year off of work, and the husband gets 6 months off. And so in this time, they're traveling. So one of the things they do with their high school students is if they are testing out for careers, one of the major careers is hospitality and tourism, and they send them to school for it. And they start sending them to hospitality schools while they're in the 11th and 12th grade. That's when they start their career, and they go to these hospitality and colleges, culinary schools. But most of them will center on just travel and tourism because it's a huge deal in those countries. And so I wanted us to see post pandemic what the impact is in America, what it looks like globally, how much money is being made. Chef Baker, when she comes along and she's going to teach about the restaurant management, she's going to talk to you more about the different types of careers, right? So I wanted to kind of steer away from that. So I want to give her an opportunity to talk about the different segments in America, the different types of careers you can get into. But I want to show you what it looks like, hard facts of what's out there. So as of 2024, the hospitality sector employs approximately 12.2 million individuals. And I can take you to a website right now where there are 87,000 jobs registered online with the National Restaurant Association as being open right now. And there are a lot of people saying, "Well, I can't find a job." And I'm like, there are jobs in the hospitality sector, right? The growth between now and 10 years, or between 2023 and 2033, we're expected to add almost a million jobs at 822,000 jobs. It's the third largest employment growth sector in the nation. So if you think about COVID and the pandemic, no one was going out, so the restaurant industry had to shift. They lost a lot of employees. A lot of restaurants closed, but we're seeing that growth rebound now, and it's coming back. We've got, as of right now, I can drive down. I stay in a small town. It is booming town. Moved here because I thought it was a little country town, but it is no longer country. But there are at least five different restaurants opening on the main strip, like they're under construction, and I'm like, but we need it because as it grows, people are eating out more, so they're just creating more. But what does that do? It impacts our economics for the city. um, the revenue generation in 2024, U.S. hotels supported 1.7 trillion in business sales. That's hotels alone, right? Because people have to have somewhere to stay. Um, as far as the government's concerned in the local economy, those are tax dollars. So when you look at 55.46 billion in state and local taxes, an additional 30.14 billion in federal taxes. So this is a huge industry where we have to think about, hey, there's a lot of money involved, right? If you want a great career, and you want to be self-sustaining, if that means that you're going to be an entrepreneur, or if you're going to work for a big box company, or whatever you do, right? Um, Statistically, in the workforce, the hospitality and tourism sector supported approximately 757 million jobs worldwide. So we account for 10% of global employment. I think that's right under being a teacher still. So the biggest employment sector is education. So you can think about hospitality, food service, travel, tourism as being second, because in every town, every state, there's, every little town, there's schools. So you have to have a lot more teachers. Um, Education is really huge. Um, and then globally, um, it says the sector contributed 11.1 trillion to the global GPT in 2024. So we represent 10% of the world's economy. So those are some huge numbers. When you look at it, you go, man, you know, we don't look at it in that aspect. We just look at, oh, Chick-fil-A's got a line wrapped around the corner. Well, I happen to have six high school students that work for Chick-fil-A, and all of them's dream is to be the next manager at Chick-fil-A. And I ask them, why are you trying to be a manager at Chick-fil-A? And they're like, Chef, the manager's making over $100,000 a year. I said, no, he's the owner. He says, no, the manager's making $100,000 a year. And he's off on Sundays. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding. He's like, no, no, I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna get a business degree and I'm gonna own a Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, cool, right? And I can see it because of the growth of this industry, how it's rebounding from COVID. But the future growth, in the next 10 years, the travel and tourism industry is anticipated to grow about 5.8%, which is really huge considering about 5 years ago, no one was going anywhere. We were all stuck at home. Um, in the hotel industry, they're still building hotels. So I wanted that to be put in front of you all just simply so you can see numbers. I know my kids, they love to see the numbers. Chef, show me the numbers. Show me the numbers. Where's the growth at? Because the one thing that we need to know when we go to school, we go to college, we get a degree, where am I going to work? Right? Because unless you're part of that 1% where you can get out, or you're an entrepreneur and you just have this huge break, we're going to have to work for someone first. So, where are you going to work? Well, there are a lot of careers as you think about what you're going to do that are associated with hospitality that will lead to other career choices that will open doors for you. but it just pays to have this type of mindset, right? Um, and then in here, I wanted to put this in here, and I wanted you all to read this slide. I read that slide, facts and figures, leave that to the professor. But before we go, I would like for you all to read this slide. If I could get her like 4, 8, 7 bullet points. If I could get all of you to take a couple of lines and read through here, then we're almost done. Next up is homework. So I need some volunteers. And this is why you should choose the hospitality service industry. Just facts. Why you should do it at a young age. And when I say this, I'm not talking about being a chef. Uh, I want to get that out there. There's a huge need for people in travel and tourism, right? Um, but there's a lot of investigation that has to go in and finding the right career path that will help you because you could go to law school and one day you'll have $1 million. You'll say, hey, I need a tax break. I need to do something with this money. Hey, I know how to make some more money. What will I do? Oh, I'll open up a small taqueria or something. So that's why I say what I say. There may be several other things you can venture off into. So I'm sorry. I could go on and on, but I need 4 readers and then we're almost done.
I can go. So, some
Thank you.
advantages for high school students entering the industry. First, there are early entry benefits. Starting a career in hospitality during high school can provide students with a competitive edge, offering hands on experience and skill development that are highly valued in the industry. And then also, there are diverse career paths. So, beyond culinary roles, the industry offers various positions such as event planning, hotel management, travel coordination, and customer service, catering to a wide range of interests and skill sets.
Next.
Okay. Economic resilience. The hospitality sector has demonstrated a robust re- recovery post-pandemic, indicating strong resilience and stability, making it promising field for long-term career prospects. Do I read the skill development?
If you could read that one and then someone else to take the last 2.
Okay. Skill development, starting in entry-level roles allows individuals to gain comprehensive knowledge of hotel operations, customer service, and management practices.
I can read the last 2. Networking opportunities, early exposure to the industry facilitates the building of professional relationships, which can be instrumental in career advancement. Career flexibility, the hospitality industry offers diverse career paths, including event planning, hotel management, travel coordination, and customer service, catering to various interests and skill sets.
I think I did that one twice, but all right. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is your why. And I want you to think about it. And in the interest of time, I'm going to have you add in your why to your homework assignment. Um, that way we won't keep you all night trying to explain it to us because I want you to really think about it. When you go do what you do, I want you to have a strong enough why, no matter what it is that you do, that it will keep you fueled through the long haul. Because Chef Blas, and I think every adult here could tell you that understanding why we do what we do and having passion for it not only comes from getting a paycheck, because oftentimes enough, the paycheck has nothing to do why I keep getting up in the morning to go do it. Because I could do various other things. Honestly, I can make a lot more money being a restaurateur right now than I could being a teacher. However, I love teaching. I love going to work every day and explaining this industry to bright-eyed students who are engaged, who want to go do this, and just giving them the truth about it. So it makes it a whole lot better for me, and I love it. Um, because there are days that, are just really tough. So As you think about your why, um, I want you to just put down why you would love to do what you do. And we would just like to know. So as adults, we can go through and we can read those papers and we can go, man, that is exciting that that's going to hold you. And I believe that if you write down your why now, later on in life, you will be able to look back at it when you have a tough day, and it seems like you just want to give up on that career. Like, man, this is not working out. I could go do something else. Um, so I'll give you a short story. Chef Blas and I had a real tough May 4th. It stung a lot. We worked really really hard for something all year, and May 4th we were at a competition and it didn't work out the way we planned. And we had put literally the entire school year into this project. And it stung a lot that we didn't get the outcome that we expected. However, I was given some very wise advice afterwards, like during the event when this was going down. One of my mentors walked up to me and he said, "Hey, you take the sting of this and you take the passion and you let it fuel you for the next group of kids that are coming so you'll be ready for them." And I thought about that for about a minute, 90 seconds. And he was right. You can't be upset in the moment knowing that there's another group of students coming and they need to feel your passion. They don't need to hear about your tough experience that happened, why, woulda, coulda, shoulda. What they need to know is that you're still passionate about what you're doing. And I'm glad he said that because when I got back to school, I had another group of students who needed my attention to go to another competition. And I've spent the last 5 weeks with them, and they end up getting a better result than the other one. And it just goes to show you that you can't quit. You can't lay down. You can't stop. You have to stay fueled for the long haul. And if I would have allowed that moment to rob me of my overall joy, I would have robbed those kids of what they needed from me. And so I'm glad that I didn't quit. I'm glad I didn't stay mad. I didn't stay down. Um, it still hurts a little bit when I think about it. It's like, oh man. But I also get the bittersweet, the sweet taste of victory on the other side. So, and that's why we would like to know your why. And it took me back to my why because I know that the next group of kids, they need they need my passion, they need my energy, they need my enthusiasm, they need my coaching, they need everything from me. And most importantly, those kids got up this last week. There was no school. They were at school for almost 8 hours every day, practicing, washing dishes, right? It takes a lot of passion to do that. And so I had to appreciate their hard work in the moment for that. So there's 2 minutes left. I'm going to share um, in here. There is a homework assignment. It's 2 pages. So there's a written response right here. Um, Dr. Cassidy, I think you'll have to put the video in for them. There's another video. My friends laughed at me for buying on your own, right? It's only 3 minutes long, so you really have to pay attention to the video, which I know you can because I showed you a video earlier and you crushed it. So you knocked it out of the park. And what I did is I kind of gave you points to write out to help guide you along with your response to the video. So you don't have to go, hey, what am I supposed to put in this paper? I already told you. So the first one, after watching the video, provide thoughtful responses to the following prompts. So understanding the concept, that's the first one. Real world application, that's number two. Personal implementations, that'll be the third thing you talk about. And comparative analysis, like compare this concept in their service and hospitality to another concept. Someone you know. So you may have to do some research if you don't know anyone, right? Um, and then the criteria, it is just double space, 12-point font, Times New Roman or Arial writing, approximately 400 words. You have 4 prompts, so if you could get 100 words on each, easy money. Math is quick math. 400 divided by 4, 100 each, 100 each, right? You even have some subtopics under there. You could break it up in 25, 50 here, 75. I'm just trying to make it sound fun. It's still a paper. Sorry. Uh, and so how I'll grade this, we'll just say understanding of the service, ability to relate the concept to personal experiences, critical thinking and depth of analysis, clarity, cohesion, organization of writing, right? I don't mind. I tell my students all the time, I don't mind if you copy and paste, but if you copy and paste from 2 articles, make sure you go back and do the grammar check and make it cohesive, right? Because when I'm reading through it, I can tell if I'm reading 2 or 3 different articles, right? 2 or 3 different thought patterns. So make sure you make it coherent and then just proper grammar and spelling. So part of that is formatting, right? I'm not big on all the, like grammar check spelling. I still spell bad sometimes, so don't worry about that so much. We just want to see your thoughts. It's not going to be a tough grade like you know, I don't want to say it like that. I don't want to make it sound easy because it's not, but I don't want you to be afraid to do it. So that's it, Chef. It's 7:02. I think Dr. Is it Cassidy? I think she put the link to the criteria in the chat, and then we'll get you the video that you have to watch. And on there, you can email it to me or Chef Blas, and they're gonna I think the idea is to have you upload it in Google Classroom when it's ready. Is that correct, Chef?
That is correct. Now,
Okay.
for right now, for my overachievers, is going to do it this evening and tomorrow. You can send it straight to Chef Rob, and you'll
And
see
my
it in the
email's right
email.
there. And if you send it to me, I'll get it to Chef Blas and he can upload it.
Yep. That's
But
what I can.
but yeah, I had a great time. You're very smart, savvy young ladies. I'm very impressed that you will take time out of your busy schedule to take a summer class. I'm always impressed with students that go above and beyond because I think that the one thing, no, not that I think, I know you are setting yourself up for a very bright future. So continue to have that mindset. Continue to have the mindset of hospitality and service. Everything you do, from greeting your friends, your parents, your family, your coworkers. We are blessed to be servant leaders, and it's all about the service. People need to understand that you care about them, and if they understand that, they will follow you anywhere. They will do what you need them to do because they know you actually care about them, right? And you're gonna put their needs above yours. So that's all I have. I hope you learned something. I definitely did. I had fun with you all, and I'm gonna stop talking because 7:04.
Appreciate you, Chef Rob. Dr. Kennedy, I turn it over
Dr.
to you.
Kennedy.
Absolutely. All right. So first and foremost, thank you so much, Chef Roberson, for all of the knowledge, all of the gem dropping that went on during this session. I hope you guys were absolutely taking notes and just there was so much relatable information, things that we can apply to everyday life, which is what we love
Yeah.
at each and every
Yes.
at the end of each and every session. So thank you so much. Thank you to our scholars who showed up and showed out today for your attendance, for your participation. Before you go, I absolutely did drop that link for your homework assignment from Chef Roberson. You can absolutely click on that. And all of the items that he described, you should see it there. As far as the video, yes, we will shoot that video to you out as soon as we can because I know there was a video portion connected to the homework assignment. I am
Yes.
also, before you hop off, oh, hold on. Before you hop off, there is an evaluation that I need each and every scholar to complete before you log off today. It's not that long. We just want a little feedback from you on how you felt about the course, whether or not was all to your expectation? How can we improve things, and what should we keep the same? So if you can just complete that evaluation that I just dropped into the chat before you hop off, and everything else we will get to you as far as the link to the Google Classroom, the video, all that stuff will be, we'll be sure to connect that and send that out to you as soon as possible before anyone hops off. While you guys are completing that evaluation, do you have any questions for us? I know it's 8:05, so I'm going. I want to get you guys logged off.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify. Will the email to send the homework assignment to be sent with the rest of the information?
So I know there's an option. Chef Dre,
Yes.
you just said there's an option. Depending on how quickly you complete the assignment, you
Okay.
can send it to Chef Robeson. I believe his contact
I'm typing it in right now.
Okay, he's dropping his email in the chat, so you can absolutely send it to him. Once we connect with you and get you that video and we get Google Classroom set up, you can absolutely drop it there as well. So you have a few different options for this first course.
So I actually have two ways. I mean, I know some of you are very savvy, like my students. They love Google Drive. So I'm going to give you my um, Google Drive as well. It's almost the same. Email is .org. Google Drive is .net. So if you share it with me, I'll get it faster, and it's easier for me to download and send on to the chef, and then upload from there. I also am going to, if you could get it out, I went ahead and put the link to that video here, to the second video. I dropped that in
Oh,
there too.
perfect. Perfect.
I went ahead and dropped them both in there, but it's on the sheet. Uh, and there is another, uh, I'll tell Chef Dre if somehow we can get it off, but on there, I put a link to a Swiss school that does hospitality. So it's really cool if you want to go in and look and just kind of look at what they do and all the different types of careers. I'll if we don't get it in, I'll give it to Chef Baker. She can get it to him when she does her piece, her
Awesome.
class. Yeah, because there's a lot of relative information out there for our scholars.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions from our scholars? All right, so if there aren't any other questions, please make sure you complete that evaluation survey that I put down in the chat. Once you complete that, you are free to go this evening, and we will see you guys back here on Thursday.
All right, thank you guys. I
Thank you so
appreciate you
much.
all having me.
Chef Robeson, thank you as
Another
always.
awesome class.
Scholars,
Yes, Chef.
rock stars today. I appreciate you.
Thank
Yes,
you so
Chef.
much. Good night, scholars.
Yes, Chef.
Good night.
Good night, scholars. Love you, man. Talk to you later, brother.
Have a good one.
Love you too, bro.
Good
Bye.
Be good.
Bye, Dr. Kennedy. Bye.
night.
Told you we're gonna speak it in, Dr. Kennedy.
Each time I'm just there like, so close.